bookworms, and welcome back to the channel. In this reggae series, we're taking it all the way back to the beginning. Not just to famous names, but to how reggae grew step by step, voice by voice, from the people and their experiences. So sit back, relax, and get ready, because this is the story of reggae told in time. When people talk about reggae, the names roll off easy. Bob Marley, Peter Tosh, Bunny Wailer, Jimmy Cliff, and rightfully so. But behind those voices, before the records, before the stages, before reggae became global, there was one man quietly shaping the sound, the discipline, and the purpose of reggae music. His name was Joe Higgs. Some call him the Godfather of Reggae, others call him the teacher, and those who really know call him the foundation. Joe Higgs was born Joseph Benjamin Higgs on June 3, 1940 in Kingston, Jamaica. He grew up in Trenchtown, a place where music breathed through the cracks and produced something special out of struggle. Sound systems or music weren't entertainment back then. Music was about survival, expression, and truth. Joe gravitated to music early. He didn't just want to sing. He wanted to understand sound. Listening to phrasing, how harmony gives strength, how a voice carries meaning. He understood early that music wasn't just about rhythm. It was about consciousness and how lyrics carry responsibility. Later, he would say plainly, music is a matter of struggle, and that belief would shape everything he touched. In 1958, Joe formed a duo with Roy Wilson called Higgs and Wilson. They didn't plan it. They ended up singing together in a talent contest, and from there it took off. Their song Manio exploded across Jamaica in 1960, selling tens of thousands of copies at a time when Jamaican music was still finding its commercial footing. It was scale-leaning, soulful, and most importantly, mature. Joe Higgs was already writing differently. While others focused on dance and romance, Higgs wrote about everyday struggle, faith, responsibility, and survival.
Well, most of the singers at that time were really into love and light type of music. I was the first person in that time was really doing things in regards to my surrounding, my immediate surrounding. I write songs about my experiences, the people around me, and they call it protest singing. You know, so I became like a man where really call it confrontation, tough kind of music, you know, because people don't too like that kind of music, dealing with the experiences, the injustices, and all that.
Funny enough, Joe Higgs' greatest work didn't happen in a studio. It happened in his home in Trenchtown. By the late 1950s and early 1960s, young singers started gathering there, not for fame but for guidance. Joe taught breathwork, harmony, phrasing, stage discipline, and something even harder to teach, purpose. That house is where Bob Marley met Peter Tosh. It's where the Wailers learned how to sing together and to harmonize. It's where reggae found its spine. Joe didn't just teach songs, he taught the craft. Bob Marley would later say Joe Higgs was a genius and credited him directly for shaping his voice and confidence. Bunny Wailer described him as a musical guardian. Peter Tosh called him a brother who kept them together. Jimmy Cliff said without Joe Higgs, there would be no reggae as we know it. Joe Higgs structured the harmonies, trained the voices, and prepared reggae for the world, before the world even knew it needed reggae. And it wasn't only the Wailers. Joe Higgs mentored Jimmy Cliff, touring with him, serving as band leader and writing songs like Dear Mother. He also guided artists like Toots Hibbert, Delroy Wilson, Derek Harriott, and many others. He gave to them freely his knowledge, time, and belief. As he once said, "I've always enjoyed sharing my music with others. Music is meant to be shared." And that generosity is why so many became stars while he stayed in the background. Joe Higgs did continue recording even as his students became global stars. His solo album, Life of Contradiction, in the mid-1970s revealed his musical depth, blending reggae phrasing with jazz sensibility. In this documentary, Roots Rock Reggae, Joe explained reggae without poetry
reggae
or romance.
should be
He
accepted
said,
in any part of the world. In the same sense. Freedom. That's what it's asking for. Acceptance.
now albums like Unity is Power, Family, and Black Man Know Yourself carried messages rooted in the ghetto, honest music. When his song, So It Go, spoke too openly about poverty and power, it caused political tension. Soon after, Joe Higgs left Jamaica for Los Angeles, entering a quiet exile. Joe Higgs died on December 18, 1999 from cancer in Los Angeles. At the time, he was working on his biography and new musical collaborations. He left behind 12 children and an entire musical lineage. In 2006, the Joe Higgs Music Awards were established in his honor, but his real memorial lives in harmony lines, protest lyrics, and voices trained to sing with meaning. Joe Higgs may not be the most famous name in reggae, but he may be the most important. He didn't chase the spotlight, he built the stage. He didn't dominate the charts, he shaped the voices. Reggae is freedom music, and Joe Higgs taught it how to speak. Before reggae had a global sound, it had teachers, people who shaped voices and messages. Joe Higgs helped guide a generation, but reggae was still finding its rhythm. In our next episode, we meet an artist who helped give reggae its name and its heartbeat. That artist is Toots Hibbert. So in the next couple of episodes, we'll see how reggae grew from early sounds to global stages, with each story connecting to the one before it. This is not just a music series. This is the story of reggae told in time.